All right, welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Feels good to be back. Um, kind of disappointed that I was not able to produce content this weekend, yesterday, which was Sunday or day before. But I'm committed to the rule that I will not produce content unless I'm motivated to produce content. Because when I'm not motivated, listeners can tell. I was under the impression that I could fake the funk, that I could be unmotivated to produce content, but yet still produce content, and no one would be able to tell that I was not really motivated because I'm a good pretender. No, that's not the case. That is not how human beings work. So I did not produce content, but it feels good to be back. And I hope listeners understand that several content creators are exactly like I am, that Dogfree and written forums is the only place on the internet where dog culture critics have a strong presence. Not the case at all. Don't even get me started. Okay? Because when you look at Dogfree, for the most part, you just gonna check out how many views. When you wanna see how popular it is, you look at how many people are subscribed to those forums, how many views it has. And when you deal with dog culture critics here on YouTube, here, let me share a screen real quick. I believe it's fair to look at the number of views that our channel gets if you want to measure our presence online. Okay, and so far, and this is my new channel, this channel has had, let's just say, 600,000 views. 600,000 views for an anti-dog channel. All right, and this is just one channel. When you go through and you add up all the views from all of our YouTube channel, we have a very, very strong presence on YouTube as well. Dog culture critics do not only write posts and write and type on the internet. Yes, we speak as well. Better rest assured. Now, this is my original channel. For those who don't know, I created this channel, I think in 2016. Oh, excuse me, February 2017. Okay, I had my dates off. For a while, I've always thought I started this channel in 2016. And this channel, over 3.7 million views. So our presence is strong here on YouTube as well. Now look at this. Look at the first sentence. Look how it starts off. It says, Dogfree is a hygienic, environmental, and social movement based around people who dislike domestic pet dogs and dog ownership in general. Dogfree is not really a movement. See, they got it wrong already, straight out the gate, which is a big reason why I believe it's the people up at Wikipedia who are not a member of dog culture, who are not dog culture critics. I can tell by the mistakes they made. Dogfree is not a movement. Dog culture criticism is the movement. Criticism of dog ownership and everything that goes along with it, primarily the problems that it causes in society. Continuing on, said people who identify as dog free generally, and nobody, we don't do that. identify as dog free. Listen to these people trying to explain us. Generally speaking, do not support the abuse or mistreatment of domestic dogs, but strongly disagree with the concept of dog ownership. Western culture's integration of dogs into media relationships and public spaces, dogs in areas such as restaurants, beaches, and commercial shops. The ecological impact of dogs as an invasive domestic species artificially perpetuated by humans, the cruelty to dogs that many owners exhibit, and the lack of hygiene exhibited by dogs. For example, their licking of their own genitalia or anus, or having anal, that's the tip of the iceberg. I was just reading an article yesterday where a pro-dog website actually admitted that feces is a normal part of a dog's diet. Excrement. When you're dealing with hygiene, it's far more serious. You could ban them based on hygiene alone, based on infections alone and the threat of infections, not just rabies. It's not just rabies. And rabies is not the only thing you can get from dogs that can kill you. Don't ever try to downplay our movement. Okay, we will correct you with the quickness. Dog-free people also do not believe in the concept of dogs providing unconditional love and believe that dog owners who consider this a virtue are actually narcissistic and looking for endless affirmation and validation to avoid personal growth and betterment. Listen to this. I think it's interesting to hear people who are not dog culture critics themselves try to explain us, right? Look at this. It is unknown when dog-free movement. Look at this. They keep calling dog-free a movement. It's unknown when the dog-free movement started. Dog-free was created in 2012, which is something I also remind a lot of people, because a lot of new people, they'll pop up on my channel and talk as if I started this anti-dog movement. Not even close. 2012, that's going back pretty far. Prior to the existence and recognition of a formal dog-free movement, historical cases of a movement of I don't know what happened there. Disliking dogs or not believing that dogs should be pets were often linked with hygienic factors and moral beliefs. Okay, check it out. In 2013, Slate writer released the article, "No, I do not want to pet your dog." Y'all remember this article? Myself and I believe another content creator went over this article, and Slate has always been open to criticizing dog culture. Shout out to Slate. Slate magazine brought a lot of attention to my channel as well as Dogfree. If you remember, the article that they wrote shared a link to my YouTube channel as well as a link to Dogfree. Phenomenon, unable to understand, okay, in which he discussed the largely American phenomenon of dog ownership and notes that dog owners are often unable to accept or understand why anybody would not like dogs. Check them out. Okay. Oh, this should be a good one. Childhood trauma. Here we go. Here we go. Let's see what they have to say. Childhood trauma. You want to make a section of that? It says some dog-free people have cited bad childhood experiences with dogs as the reason behind their attitude. Okay, which makes sense. Okay, that's my own interjection, which makes sense. No matter what age you are, many people wake up to dogs' true behavior and the problems that they cause in society. Instead of adoration, I felt excessive apathy. I didn't care for the dog at all. Hearing her aggressive howl mid-morning to be taken outside for a walk didn't exactly motivate me to feel love and affection. Standing outside in the freezing cold every morning with a doggy bag in my hand while awaiting some fresh, warm dog excrement didn't give me a rush. Speaking of that, this is a good thing because a lot of dog lovers give up their dogs because they're sickened and disgusted by all the dog waste, right? They just don't like to clean up dog excrement. It's disgusting. And dog waste carries the most bacteria. And I personally believe that this is why they made those toys for children. Dog poop toys. Just look it up. I shared a video that Sheepy produced several months ago. And it's so sad. I've been working so much. People, if I don't work 12 hours a day, I'm working 11 hours a day. Right? Basically, 10 to 12 hours a day. I'm lucky when I have a 10-hour day. So I really don't have much time to listen to other people's content. So this is my first time listening to it. I shared it in the community section. Be sure to check it out. It's very strange. I'm going to have to do a video on that, probably a live stream. Very weird. If I were a kid and I saw toys, excrement, why would any child want to play with dog waste, a dog turd? Yet they make toys because they're trying to desensitize the younger generation in hopes that when they grow up, they won't be disgusted and turned off by dog waste. But they're citing this as a childhood trauma. On top of that, dogs never leave you alone. Maybe it's my inner introvert talking. But I don't want to come home to a dog sticking its nose in my business and begging for attention. They beg for food. They beg for food. Dogs are not smart enough to beg, to want attention. If you think about it, the desire for attention is sophisticated. Because people want attention for a reason. Dogs are not even smart enough to want attention. You know how when you were a kid, you would say, hey, look at me. Hey, mommy, look at me. And you'll do maybe a dance or maybe a cartwheel or something. You just wanted them to look at you doing something. Dogs are not smart enough to do that. Think about it. Dogs are not smart enough to do that. They don't think like that. Hey, look at me. Dogs never simply just want attention. I hear this being said a lot. The dogs, they always want attention, always want attention. No, they're not smart enough to just want attention. They want food. If you want to test my theory out, next time you think your dog just wants your attention, pull out some food and drop it on the floor. Sit on it, leave you alone, and focus on eating that food. You pull out some food, toss it across the room, watch it go, focus on that food. They're begging for food, not looking for your attention. Kids do that. See, when you say a dog just wants your attention, it implies that the dog understands what love is. Kids do that when they want to feel loved. One man who covered an article for Fox News after coming out as dog-free and describing an incident. One man was covered in an article for Fox News after coming out as dog-free and describing an incident in which multiple unleashed dogs approached his child and wife in a park, causing the man and his wife to pull their child away and shout profanities at the owner of the dog. The incident received a mostly negative response, and critics argued that, okay, whatever. Let's just deal with this overall thing of childhood trauma. Dog lovers will say, oh, you must have been traumatized as a child. They mean it as an insult. There's nothing insulting about that, whether or not we were attacked as a child. Bottom line is, that's a good reason to avoid dogs, no matter what age you are. If you're under this delusion and you believe these things are harmless and that they won't attack you or whatever, they view you as family, once you see evidence or proof that that's a lie, you should act on it. Act on it. If not, you are an idiot and you're wasting your brain. We have brains so we can learn from lessons. That's one lesson they don't want anybody to learn. They've even named it. Named our aversion to dogs, called cynophobia, saying that if you avoid dogs, you have a mental problem. This is what they're trying to say, that we have a mental problem if we try to avoid dogs. No. They also have a section on hygiene, most definitely a problem. They also, look at this, they name some of the infections. Okay. Right? It's not too detailed. Look at this. American Kennel Club, for example, has noted that all dogs have anal glands that consistently emit a foul-smelling, oil-like substance from the dog's anus into its skin, fur, and saliva. Yes, listen to that. That stinking, oily anal gland substance gets all over the dog. It's present all over. That's why they stink nonstop. The dog licking or gnawing at its anus is loosening and spreading the substance. And I would imagine that the dog would loosen and spread the substance when they lick other dogs' anus, which is what they do all the time. It's the first thing they try to do. And they say that it's used as an identifier by smell. For shut up, get out of here. Get out of here. They're trying to say that the dogs use their scent from their anal sacs to identify. Shut up. Don't believe that, not even a little bit. They tell us to allow our dogs to sniff our hand to get our scent. Our hand don't have no anal sac fluid smeared all on them. Don't tell me they're trying to sniff for anal sac secretion. They're just nasty. They sniff on anuses because they eat excrement. And they should be euthanized for being so disgusting. That is disgusting. It says this substance transfers to humans when they touch a dog. People, Lord. How many of y'all read that article just surfaced yesterday, I think? Where they're bragging about how they have dogs, therapy dogs, in hospitals for the nurses. How many of y'all saw that article? Just surfaced a few days ago. Maybe about 2 days ago. They're bragging that, yeah, we keep a therapy dog in the hospital for the nurses to rub on. Talking about, oh, when we rub on the dog, we feel calm. There are a million ways to calm yourself. And people are going to get tired of that pathetic excuse for a whole dog being in places like hospitals. Want to feel warm. Like I said years ago, you better get you a cup of tea. Better get you some warm tea and shut up and be happy, or rub on something else. There are alternatives to rub on. Far less filthy than these walking maggot turds. Now, how about this? They even referred to some YouTubers. Look, what is this? I don't know what this is. Y'all be sure to check this out. I haven't even read the whole thing yet. Criticism. Dog-free movement has received little to no in-depth has received little to no in-depth research or attention into the phenomenon, remaining largely anonymous and contained to social media. Look at this. We've received criticism from a Phoenix-based dog trainer, Sam the dog trainer. Stop it. Stop it. There has been people who have openly condemned dog-free, but none of them put forth any argument. They don't try to debunk any of our arguments. They don't. You don't want to talk about criticism, but that's all this article says, that there are people out there who express, look at this, extreme criticism. And it's not extreme, it's weak criticism. And yeah, they refer to us as antisocial nutcases. No, y'all antisocial. Dog lovers are antisocial. Dogs are a menace. So the dog owners are antisocial. There you go. It's not hard to debunk y'all's rhetoric. Anybody who try to speak in defense of dogs, you're going to sound foolish. They try to argue that us dog culture critics, will try and ban dogs from housing, hiking trails, family cookouts, the workplace, beaches, and any off-leash areas. Of course. Of course, that's what we want. These people will not tolerate any audible dog barking. Exactly. That is true. Yeah, we don't like the sound of dogs barking. Dogs are going to bark. And we have if dogs are going to bark, get rid of them. Euthanize them. Simple solution to that. But they say dogs are going to bark. And we have to have reasonable rules to allow dogs to be dogs. No, we don't. You see how they talk as if the society belongs to dogs, and as if dogs have a rightful place in our society. Get out of here. And for dog owners to have a dog, they're trying to just normalize how much of a menace they are to society with their stupid dogs, trying to make it acceptable. No. We don't have to just shut up and accept you dumb, stinking, dangerous, loud, annoying dog. While an admitted dog-free person, this person, Olga Khan, suggested in her article, I Don't Like Dogs, that while she did find solace in the dog group Dogfree and agreed with most of it, she found some of the posts there overzealous. Look at another, again, all criticism against us is weak. We're overzealous. Dog lovers are overzealous. We're just matching their energy. They're the ones obsessed with dogs. We're sick of it. Okay? There's plenty to read here. I'll go ahead and leave a link and end my review of Dogfree in Wikipedia there. Now there's some other videos that I need to deal with before I go. Okay? Y'all know there's been a lot of crazy stuff going on out here in the dog world. A lot of crazy stuff. A woman was killed here recently. This surfaced, I think, a day ago. This article surfaced a few hours ago, 5-6 hours ago. Woman killed by her own dog yet again. So are y'all telling us that this is not a good reason to not own a dog? Hello? Things like this happen to dog lovers. Yeah? How crazy is that? You want to know whether or not you should purchase a product. You look online and find people's complaints about that product. Let's say you see that a lot of people end up with a bruised elbow. I don't know. So whatever type of product, it actually hurts them, bruises them. That right there would cause a lot of people to move on. Be like, nope. What? I read that this product gets a lot of people hurt. Well, with dogs, what you find out is that several dog owners end up unalived, disfigured, Jacqueline Durand, mutilated, maimed for life, right? If you're not sent into the grave. And that's in the tens of thousands of people get mutilated every year. Don't try to tell us that something's off with us for saying that this is not a smart pet to own. It says not a pet. Okay? I'm glad that they made a Wikipedia page so that we could do what I'm doing right now. It is funny to me that there are people out there who think that they can, condemn us. Go ahead and try. See, the problem is, y'all have never really encountered a group of people like us. So you're not ready. You're not prepared. You haven't dealt with objections to dog culture. So this was her own dog, but check this out. According to the agency, This lady had 2 pit bulls inside of her home, and the dogs started to fight each other. These were family dogs. She tried to break up the fight. The dogs then turned on her, killed her. Dog culture projects this as normal. It's called redirected aggression. And when this happens, they say that it's not the dog's fault. Some dog lovers even say that the dogs did not know that they were mauling their owner, which is nonsense. Y'all telling us that this is not a good reason to not be a dog owner? The world need to catch up. When you talk about dog culture critics, you can't criticize us. We're needed right now. So, if you're a dog owner, you got 2 dogs. If they start to fight, what are you supposed to do? Well, you're supposed to just stand there and let them fight. One might end up dead. Well, it is what it is. I'm not going to try to break them up because their aggression could redirect to me. What a choice. What a choice. Does that sound like a smart pet to have? You either get mutilated yourself or you sit there and watch one of the dogs delete the other. House full of blood. Get out of here. Don't ever try to criticize dog culture critics about nothing. All of our objections justified. These brainless mutants. There's another story. This one caught on video. This media outlet published this yesterday. Yet another unprovoked attack. The world is starting to understand that all of these attacks are unprovoked. Dogs, that's what they specialize in. Attacking people for no reason. And they're the only animals that do this.
A Redondo Beach family is asking for help tonight to find the owners of a dog who bit their mother.
Yeah, it was an unprovoked attack and captured on surveillance video. Take a look at this. Michelle Lara says it happened February 18th on Artesia Boulevard. She was out for her daily walk when the dog suddenly jumped out of a nearby dog training facility and bit her on the left arm. She says that the bite left bruising and reduced mobility to that arm. She also says that she'd like to know more about the dog, but says she's unable to get in touch with the dog.
That one bite did all that damage.
She says that the bite left bruising and reduced mobility to that arm. She also says that she'd like to know more about the dog, but says she's unable to get in touch with the dog's owner.
So, as you can see, it's kind of choppy. She was just walking down the sidewalk. Walking down the sidewalk. This is considered normal for dogs. Attack out of nowhere. And why is it that when y'all catch these unprovoked attacks on camera, why don't y'all ever reflect on how it disproves what comes from the experts? The experts say that all of these attacks are in fact provoked. Get out of here.
On surveillance video. Take a look at this. Michelle Lara says it happened February 18th on Artesia Boulevard. She was out for her daily walk when the dog suddenly jumped out of a nearby dog training facility.
It amazes me. There's so many people have been conned into loving these things. It's unbelievable. Now, this couldn't have been me. I would have blew that thing's face off. Don't tell me that something's wrong with me for having hatred for these things. I got nothing but hatred for these things. All Trump has to do is put me in charge of whether they exist, whether or not they exist. You won't see them for too much longer, any of them. Okay? Because I'm going to be rounding up them and their worthless puppies and euthanizing all of them. You will never see another dog again in your life. No one. That's my dream come true. That's everything for me. That's my birthday present, holiday present, and everything. There's another story surfaced, I think a day or so ago. Youngster in the hospital after being attacked by a dog. And we're familiar with this phrase that they put at the end. At the end of this article, they tell the readers, once again, not to speculate. See that? Investigation team asked that you do not speculate on the circumstances of the incident. Why do you not want us to speculate? They ask us not to speculate so that they can speculate. See? So that the so-called experts can speculate and theorize. What they're actually doing is lying. Police officers make it to dog attacks before anybody else. They make it to the dog attacks before the experts. They're the ones who report it to the experts. The experts are exposed to the reports, and then society asks the experts, why do dogs attack children? This is essentially what this is. Why do they attack children? And then the experts do what? They start to speculate. And it's really not speculation. They know exactly what happens. Dogs launch unprovoked attacks. What they actually start to do is lie. And that's ultimately what they're asking us not to do. Please don't blame the dog. That's basically what they're saying. Please don't blame the dog in its bloodthirsty nature for this attack on a youngster. And it sounds like this child was extremely young. I don't even think they share an age with us. But this is the perfect candidate to be removed from society. Along with all these deportations, dogs need to go right along with them. But rather than send them to another country, send them to the euthanasia chamber. See how that works? Speculate, form a theory or conjecture. That's exactly what they do. And it's a lie. Because what do they say? They say that the youngsters provoke the attacks. This is what their experts say. And this is another reason why dog culture critics are needed in society. Because y'all so-called experts are out here lying, putting out misinformation. And it's the worst types of lies. They're blaming newborns, 1, 2, 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds. They're blaming them for the attacks. Don't act like we're some maniac lunatic group that come out of nowhere just full of hate and criticizing dogs and dog ownership, dog owners. Y'all are carrying on with a sick society, a sick culture that deserves to be called out. And we have been subjected to dog culture all our life. In many ways, we're not even aware. Filthy, inbred mutants are so toxic that they're the number one contaminant of the air that we breathe. Especially inside of homes where these things reside. They're the number one contaminant. They have the most harmful contaminants on this dander that floats through the air. They're toxic excrement, urine, and saliva. You inhaling capnocytophaga. They're the most toxic by far. They contaminate our water. This is how we're being affected, those of us who are not even dog owners. Dog excrement, number one contaminant of our waters. The water that come out your flipping faucet. Not even filters can get rid of much of the filth that comes from dogs. You got to put up with their stupid barking and the possibility of attacks. Okay, so when you talk about dog culture critics, you better put some respect on our presence. We're actually speaking on behalf of several defenseless victims who are no longer with us and who are disfigured as I speak, while dog culture is busy ignoring them. Dog lovers are not here reflecting on all the victims that their dogs have sent to the grave. Over half of those victims being children. Y'all not reflecting on that, trying to come up with ways to stop that. So if we step in to do the job, I don't want to hear no complaints. I don't want to hear no criticism. Y'all out here lying on victims, defenseless, endangering them, making a culture out of endangering them. You want to turn around and try to project our presence as like an act of evil? I mean, it's real funny. These people, they go overboard with how they try to project us as evil people in society. Engage us. The next time y'all want to know about us, don't make assumptions. Engage us. And if you're real smart, you join us. Shout out to all of you able to join me for this live stream. And I hope you can join me on the next as we continue with this crusade.